I'm Dr. Keith Johnson. So how do you make your life a success? How do you meet the things you want to do and make yourself happy and content? Here's some suggestions. You need to understand what it is you really want. Now, that sounds difficult, but it's not as hard as it sounds. The fact of the matter is, it's easy to determine what you want when you think it over. What are your goals in life? What would you want to be happy? Do you want a family? Do you want some children? Scary thought. Do you want a job at a donut factory? What do you love? What do you like? Do you want a job at Disney World? I had a client that came in one day ecstatic. He'd been looking for a job for 2 years, and he finally found his dream job. He'd been hired as one of the transportation directors for Disney World. He loved Disney World, and he loved the opportunity to be whatever a transportation director is. I suppose there's a lot of things that a transportation director does. But he was thrilled. Now here's the difference. I would not enjoy that job. I don't want to be a transportation director, and especially at a very successful place like Disney World, but he did. And interestingly enough, now he's been there 18 years, and he's very, very happy. Moved up the ranks, and he's doing fine. Now, his purpose, his goal is accomplished. He's content with his life, he's very happy with what he's doing, and as a result, very successful. Now, you and I can do the same thing. It's not that we have to do the same thing that he's doing, but we can establish what we want to do as our goals. And here's my suggestions. First of all, get a piece of paper and pen. Now, write down your goals. What are your goals for the next year? What do you want to accomplish? It's not hard to come up with goals. First of all, you know you probably want to make more money next year than you're making right now. So you put down how much you're making now on that list. You put down how much you'd like to be making next year. And then put some steps as to what you think it would take to make a better life for yourself for next year. Then come up with some other goals. You want to travel. Where do you want to go? Paris, Switzerland, Rome, any place that you think you want to go. Write down where you want to go and how. You want to go by plane? You want to go on a cruise? A cruise by itself is a trip. Write down these things so you know what you want. And here's the point. Now that you're starting to write this list of goals, you want to divide it into three. You want goals for today, and goals for next year, and goals for 5 years. And then once you get schooled in this a little bit, you want to do goals ad infinitum. How many goals you want to accomplish, forever. But now let's stick with today, a year, and 5 years. Write them down. You need to write them down. One of the biggest mistakes we make is we don't write down our goals. You have to visualize what you're doing. I had a client come to me years ago for career counseling. He wanted some guidance in whether he was in the right job or not and what he should do to change it. So he and I went through some of the personality testing. And then I sat down with him in conversation and said, now, what kind of job do you want? He said, I don't know. Well, if you don't know, who knows? I mean, I can't sit there and tell you what kind of job you're supposed to have. I can't tell you what you want. I can give you some idea of what it looks like you want. I can get an idea of your personality and your temperament, and I can tell you why you act the way you do a little bit. But I can't tell you what you want exactly. You've got to decide that. And nobody should be telling you what you want either. You're the one that has to decide who you are, what you want to accomplish. Don't let anybody else tell you who you are. Nobody else knows you except you, and you've got to answer for what you do with your life. So what you do is you figure out, who am I and what do I want? And that's the reason for the list. You list different things that you want, and you think you need and you think you're looking for. Most of all, the wants are important because the wants guide you through all this maze. The wants say, well, yeah, this is what I want to do. These passions are there for a purpose. Every passion has a purpose, and every purpose has a problem that has to be solved. A purpose is given to solve a problem. I need to solve the problem of not being so hungry, so I need to eat. So I'm given a fork, which is given me for the purpose of helping me eat. And then I'm given a spoon, which is for the purpose of helping me eat. I'm given a knife. These are purposes. Every purpose has a problem that it's got to solve. I want to connect with you. I want to talk to you. I want to let you know that maybe I can help you understand your life. So that's a problem I've got. This computer serves a purpose in helping me communicate to you the purpose that I understand for your life and for mine. And in doing this, I am fulfilling some of my purpose. And I feel good about it. I feel like I know what I'm doing, and I feel like I'm trying to help you. Now, you have a purpose. You may have many purposes. You need to figure out what problems you can solve. You need to figure out what problems you can handle that you can solve well, because that's why you were made. That's your purpose, to solve those problems. You're given certain children, you're supposed to help solve their problems as they grow up so that they can help solve their children's problems. Same thing is true with your husband. You're supposed to help him solve some of his. Your purpose is to help solve some of his problems. That'll keep you busy. Or he's got to help you solve some of your problems. Your purpose and mine is to solve the problems that we come across that we can handle. Also, it's very important to note, you need to distinguish which problems you can help and which problems you can't help. The problems that you can't solve are problems you shouldn't be touching. And that's one of the big mistakes we make. We're so filled with our ego, we think we can solve any problem no matter what it is. It's just not true. You're not talented enough, neither am I, to solve every problem. And so, distinguished-wise, you need to figure out what problems you can solve. And then you concentrate on those. And the problems you can't solve, you find somebody else to help you. Now, that's the important talent of a CEO, for example. Chief Executive Officer needs to know who has talent to do certain jobs and needs to put them at those jobs so that they are well accomplished. Same thing is true with you. You need to be the CEO of your life and figure out what it is you can do and what you're looking for. So now, where are we? You are making a list of your goals and what you want to accomplish, what you want to do better next year, what you want to do better in 5 years, and how you're going to do it. Now, that's an extensive list by itself. Once you've done that, and that list includes raising your kids, being a better wife or husband, being a better mother or father, being better to your mother or father, working with your friends, doing better on your job. Just goes on and on, but it's a personal list. This is not a list that somebody else makes. This is your list that you determine. After you've gotten somewhere with this list, then you sit back and you look over what is your purpose. What problems are you talented enough to solve? What passions do you have that you want to accomplish in your life? First, your passion. What do you want? That's your guide. Then, what problems can you solve? And that's your purpose. Now you figure out what you can solve in regards to your talents. If you're not a good singer and the local play group needs a good singer, you're not the one to fill them. And don't go there and pretend that you have a good voice, because you don't. So don't try to be a singer where you shouldn't be singing. Don't try to be a dancer where you shouldn't be dancing. But if you can sing, or if you can dance, you should be there. If your passion says this is what I can do, you should be doing it. So you follow your list and work on your procedures on how to make things better. Then you work on your passion to understand your purpose, and then you do everything you can to make your life fulfilling. It'll not only pay off for you, it'll pay off for your family and everybody else involved with you. Now remember this, a lot of people never find their purpose, partly because they don't look. So start looking. It'll take you a long time to find it, and you'll find out you'll have many purposes over your life. So keep at it and good luck.